Welcome back to Garth Graveyard Garage. This is going to be part 1.5 of working on the tow truck Clyde. So, going to dive into this and get the engine bay ready. So here we go. What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to remove the oil pan on this engine. So everybody that has been bugging me in the comments on the previous video can see what's in it. Everybody just assumes, I guess, I don't know what I'm doing and that I was just going to leave the oil pan with the sludge in the bottom. You guys got to give me a chance to get the next video out. I'm not going to cover everything in one video. And just because you didn't see it happen doesn't mean I didn't do it. So, because of everybody harassing me in the comments about the oil pan, that's what we're going to tackle first. We're going to drop this oil pan so everybody can see what's in it. I'm sure it's, more Taco Bell. So let's get started on that. All right. Let's get this pan off here so people stop harassing me about it. And they used Allen bolts on this, which I'm not a fan of. I love how many of you have gotten the reference without cheating about why I named him Clyde. And then, I never realized also until a bunch of people pointed it out, the Cooter truck from Dukes of Hazzard. That one's another one that makes sense. But I don't know if I want to drive around a truck named Cooter. And I never really got too into that show. I was more of a fan of Every Which Way But Loose and Any Which Way You Can. Another thing we're going to find out too is what crank is in this thing. We can measure the stroke if there's no markings on the crank, so we can see what this actually is, and if it is that 440 horsepower 350 or if this is a 383 stroker. I don't know. All I know is from what I've seen so far, and I'm going to assume the paperwork that was in here that identified the crank is accurate. Or not the crank, the camshaft. So, I don't know. So far, all we know is it's got a competition cam, roller rockers, bore 30 over, flat top pistons. So, maybe this has a 400 crank in it. We'll find out. If I can't find the markings on the actual crank itself, for those of you that have never done it before, I'll show you the trick for measuring the stroke, and then we'll know for sure what this is. And maybe we've only got 300 and something horsepower. Regardless, it'll be about double what that truck came with. So we'll be good. Alright, one more bolt. And then everybody can see what's in here. But everybody flipping out about the water in the pan, it might have gotten up on the pickup tube, but it wasn't full of water. I estimate it was maybe quarter to half full. I'll turn the camera over here in a second so you can get a good look and see what it looks like. Well, this is not a 4-bolt main. I guess the good news is the water was only about at the pickup tube, because this all looks brand new. Here, I'll show you. Alright, so everybody can see the water did not make it up into the crank. It all looks brand new. Pickup tube's got a little sludge on it, which, yeah, that'll clean right out. But, alright. So the numbers that were on the sticker do not match the chart online. Because the only number that was on here was a manufacturer number, which I ran that and came back to what looks like the description. Roller rockers, 4-bolt main, etc., etc. So now I don't know what this is. It just looks like a 350, standard 350, 2-bolt. Bored 30 over with a nice cam and intake and roller rockers. So, a little disappointing. But, you know what? This is a free engine, and I bet it's going to run really good, so it is what it is. It'll still power that truck pretty good, because it's more than that truck came with. So, but now everybody can see, oil pan's actually not too bad. I mean, it's a little sludgy, but clean all that out. So, yeah. So, everybody getting on my butt about dropping the oil pan. There you go. So, next step is we're going to clean all that up, get all that cleaned out, put it back together, new gasket, and then next step we're going to do is start pressure washing all this loose rust off. I vacuumed out what I could earlier, but we're going to blast all this with the pressure washer, and then we're going to apply some rust killer. Instead of painting this, making it new, bringing it around vice grip style, we're just going to convert this rust to black. Just let it naturally do its thing, and leave the firewall. We'll pull all of this out and have to redo all this wiring. It's a mess, but we'll get all this prepped all pretty and get the motor mounts on the engine. The ones I got should be the right ones for this, and yeah, get it in the we'll get it bolted in the truck with the new pressure plate and clutch. flywheel that came with this truck was luckily still in the truck. We have the flywheel. I just have to get all the pulleys and brackets and all that stuff for the front of this alternator, water pump, and it's all we're going to be running. That's the only stuff that's going to be running. There's not going to be excuse me, no power steering, no AC, none of the extras, and going to do electric fans on this thing with a thermostat, so it'll have a little bit more power. But okay, well, that's where we are. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this mess up, and then we'll tune back in when we're prepping the engine bay. I started cleaning up the oil pan. I was going to go ahead and knock all the old loose paint off of it and get all the grease and everything off of it, clean it up, get it repainted. And I think I just found out why there wasn't as much water in that oil pan as there should have been for sitting so long. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a big old gash right here in the pan. Looks like maybe it got dropped or something, but there's holes down inside there. So I'm glad I caught that. So instead of patching this, I went ahead and ordered a new oil pan gasket. So we're just going to go ahead, do this the right way, new gasket, new pan. I'll paint it to match. I've got more of the Chevy orange paint. So we'll get that done. So glad I caught that. So what we're going to do now, we got the pressure washer out. We're going to start spraying all of this loose rust off. And then I'll show you what we're going to do next to kill all the surface rust. But first things first is going to pressure wash all this and get it all cleaned up and ready, and let it dry, and then we'll do the rust prep. Took a break while this thing's drying off and decided to mess with this door. I got it open. I had to rip the door panel off and get up in there to pop things loose, but it's a little stiff. And yeah. Lots of cancer down here that we'll have to replace. And then also down in the corner right there. Right here. So we'll end up replacing this rocker panel in this corner. The other corner is actually okay, but the other rocker is shot. Not quite as bad as this, but it's very common, and you can buy the whole kit. I've seen both rockers, both corners for like $75. So that's how common it is. And when I made an offer on this truck, I didn't, normally I inspect, full inspection, front to back, top to bottom. This one, I fell so in love with it from a distance, I made an offer without even going over the truck. I just knew I wanted it. And speaking of which, he had another truck out there I made an offer on that he refused. And then here we are, weeks later, I got the call that he changed his mind and he accepted. So you're probably going to go on another adventure with us out there to go pick up the other truck, which is another cool truck, 10 years older than this one. So, and again, I barely got a good glimpse at it, but made an offer on it just because it's another one of my favorite Chevy trucks. So anyways, once this is completely dry, we'll get underneath the hood and finish the derusting. Okay, took a break to clean up the intake, get it put back on. Got a new oil pan, did a fresh coat of paint on it, so it doesn't quite match, but being on the bottom of the truck, eventually it's going to blend in. I was going to repaint this, but I kind of like the light patina that's going on. I think it'll go with the truck. So the little one now is going to put on the new motor mounts. You want to give it a shot? Go for it. Let's see what you, see if you can do it. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I can't hold it off.
Here, let me get you a bolt ready. There. There's a bolt with a washer. Get one started. There you go. Let me help you? Here, get one started. Get it in there. Just get it started. You get your little fingers in there. You get it? Oh, okay, hold on. Let me give you a socket, make it a little easier. Let's see, it's probably, yeah.
Which one's the new one?
And give you an extension. I'm gonna drop an extension. They're both new, Bubby.
Oh.
Okay. Yep, you gotta have one for each side. Okay, see how it's on there? So you can twist it with that now. All right. Oh, you dropped the washer. It's over there.
Where?
Over there.
Can you hold that, Daddy?
Yes, I'll hold it. Hold on to all your stuff.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put it in there. Oh, here, get all the dust off of it. There you go. Yeah. All right, put that back in the socket. There you go. Hold it upright. Okay. Now go ahead and see if you can get that one started. I'm going to teach you some coordination. Push it up in there. There you go. Yeah, if you need to move it around, that's fine.
This way? Which way?
Yeah, that way. Just make sure you don't cross thread it. You got to angle it down a little bit, Bubby. No, not that far. Here, hold on. Let me get one started for you. Yep. There you go. Oh, don't lose the washer. There you go. Now you can use this one to put it where you need it. There you go. Pay attention. That way you don't cross thread. If you cross thread it, then it'll be messed up. There you go. There you go. Just now spin it in there. There you go. I think you got that one. All right. Yep. Now you got one down there in the bottom.
Where's the other switch for? Oh,
They're going the other side. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to let you work on this, and then I'm going to start getting rid of the rust underneath the hood. Okay, the stuff I'm going to be using, I saved the label to show you guys. I'm going to pour some Core Seal in here to coat all the rust underneath there. But if anybody ever wants to use this stuff, it's Core Seal. I've been using this stuff for a while, and it's amazing. So I'm going to pour some of this into that bucket, or that can, and we're going to use a paintbrush. We're going to paint it over everything we want to convert to black. So we're going to do that now. All right, we're going to start on this side. This is what it looks like. It's just kind of like a white, milky, it's like outdated Pepto-Bismol.
White?
No, it's a chemical. It's going to kill all this rust.
Oh.
And you want to use it pretty liberally. Let's use this. There you go. The battery tray that's actually still there.
I can smell it.
Yes. It's a little stinky. And we're going to let this stuff sit overnight. So by tomorrow it should be ready. And what's cool is it converts the rust, surface rust, to a primer. So if you wanted to, you could actually paint over the top of it. And what you can do is you can actually put this stuff in a spray bottle, a pretty durable one, and you can actually just coat everything you want to if you can't get to certain spots with a paintbrush. And if anybody's wondering, no, you don't have to wear gloves. It's not toxic. Okay, that's pretty much about it. It's all coated. We're gonna let this stuff sit overnight. So once we come back and it's all dried, I'll show you you'll be able to see the before and after. So, all right. Next is start prepping to get this engine in the truck. It is the next day, and let's have a gander under the hood. Oh yeah, almost dry. That's so much better. So that shows you more or less what that stuff does. So next thing we're going to do is it's about time to get the truck in the garage. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. I'm still trying to plan it since I'm here by myself. So it'll take some maneuvering. But I'll tune back in when I've got it in the garage. Well, that ended up taking me all of about 5 minutes. I started measuring the height of this, and what do I have that'll push it? Well, the abandoned truck, since it's running. So I just used that with the grill guard and pushed it on in the garage. So now we can start prepping. Get this hood off of here, and yeah, get the clutch, well, the flywheel, the clutch, pressure plate, all that stuff bolted onto there, and we'll get it up inside the truck. Unfortunately, we're going to save that for the next video because that's a whole other process. So for right now, we're going to stop here on part, I'm going to call this 1.5, because the main concentration of this one was because of the comments, to show you what's in the oil pan and to do an inspection of the crank and all that kind of stuff. And that's where we found out the bad news. It's not a 4-bolt main. It doesn't have 430 horses. I didn't measure the crank because at this point I don't care. It's a 350 board 30 over with a cam and roller rockers and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be fine for this truck. It's a lot more, it's kind of overkill for what was in this truck, and it handled just fine. These 4-speed transmissions are beasts, so it'll be just fine. It's gonna have plenty of power, and so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, it is what it is. It's a free engine, so no complaints. But anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe. And the next video will be getting this motor dropped in here and bolted up, and then possibly, if I have all the parts, we'll do our first test fire on this thing. So until we see you again next week or maybe this weekend, please bear with us. Like I said before, we have work outside of here, so we have to get to this when we can. But we do appreciate all of you, all the comments, all the love, and don't forget to check out the merch store. But we'll see you in the next one.